plan has already completely gone out the window.
So here was the plan. When I drew this tag, I knew a few spots I wanted to go scout, but wasn't exactly focused on finding the biggest possible bull prior to the season opening, since they'd be covering lots of ground once the rut kicked in. So we checked the first spot and jackpot. We found 100+ cows, and now that we struck gold, we just had to keep track of these elk. I knew with the amount of cows we had found that even though we hadn't turned up big bulls in bachelor herds, the big bulls would have to move in on the cows that we had found. And we were just going to have to be patient and watch the cows till the day the bulls came to party. And that's exactly what happened.
It's raining and it's like 30-mile-per-hour winds on top of the mountain here where I wanted to be, where I've been seeing a bunch of elk.
Dude, there's 2 giant bulls in there. So they're moving towards us. The wind is blowing kind of that way. So there's a 350 bull up there. Got in on the herd and kind of pushed him in this next canyon. I never spooked him. I got really close. I bugled with him a little bit, so he didn't want the smoke. That simple. So I'm trying to figure out the game plan now that when his top's just round, like curve back. He's currently screaming. It's like a bull straight out of a penny. His back end just curves back. Big old back ends. Alright, so it's September 2nd. Back out for day 2. We kind of watched the bulls last night, but have a rough idea of where they're going to be. They didn't really come out of the trees last night. That bull we were chasing in the morning, he stepped out of the trees kind of a little bit, but he's big. Got nice set up in glass when the sun comes up, and hopefully we can spot him, make a play this morning, and let an arrow fly. As the sun began to light up the side of the mountain on day 2, we glassed up hundreds of elk scattered all across the side of the mountain. We slowly sifted through them with our glass until we found the target bull. He's right below that top group. Just back end. Look at those antlers turn. Quickly we began to come up with the plan to make our move on this bull and put the plan into action. What up, fellas? So we got the big bull spotted. I watched him for a little bit, watched him sneak into the trees. We're gonna go into the top of the trees and we're just gonna scream and cow call, and then we're gonna go shink. That's as simple as it is. It's donezo. We're gonna get him. We began to push through the trees where the bull moved into, and were closing distance slowly but efficiently. We were surrounded by elk and could hear the bull bugling no more than 100 yards away, when a surprise group of mule deer moved right in front of us and spooked, causing the elk to become alert and push out of the trees and over into the next canyon, concluding our efforts on day 2. Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back up here for elk today. I'm just gonna quick glance. Got a really good angle right here of all the canyons these elk and that big bull I want to kill have been hanging in. So we're gonna glance at them real quick and see if we can't find anything tonight. Hopefully we can locate him at the bare minimum. So I found my first group of elk, and I thought for sure, because there's still rain and pretty nasty wind up here, I thought for sure they were gonna be tucked up in trees. But they're just out on an open face, like at the top of the mountain. I don't know if it's the one the bull's in, but I can just see it, but just a bunch of elk. They're pretty far away, just on the top of the mountain for no reason. So we found the big bull. There's 2 guys above that whole herd up there, but I don't really know what their game plan was. In my opinion, there's just no way in my head that it works out tonight to kill that bull. Time's running out. You've got a little more than an hour. There's nothing I can really do, I don't think, if those guys are up there. And what they're doing is weird, like they just sat above them. And the elk are kind of moving up, but the wind's swirling. I feel like you're just gonna get winded. I wonder if I can go up top and get a better angle on them maybe, because I'm really far away. I'd like to get better footage of that bull and see what the probability is of anything happening tonight. So here's the update. I got in close tonight. I got to like 70 yards and I could just see the tops of his antlers. I got caught out in the open with some cows. I made a stupid play. Like it's stupid it even worked enough for me to get close to 70 yards and I still had him bugling. After getting so close to the big bull on September 4th, and the amount of elk we were in the first few days, it felt like the hunt could be over in the first week. We were getting better at closing the distance, and it felt like I'd be able to let an arrow go sooner than later. But the elk we had been after, plus a few new elk, had made an unexpected move into a new series of canyons on the side of the mountain. This forced us to go chase them on unfamiliar ground, which had us searching for my target bull that we had lost track of, but also provided us with some more fired up bulls to chase. So that's what we did. While our first chase after another nice bull was unsuccessful, we found ourselves in the middle of a rut fest as the sun began to grow dimmer on our hike out of the canyon. With 5 bulls screaming around us, we could hear one up by the truck and were able to relocate our target bull with the last little bit of light left as the sun finished setting. When we got back to the truck above the canyon, the target bull was only 200 yards away on flat ground, which was a devastating discovery after chasing a different elk through a steep canyon all night. But that's hunting. It never seems to be as easy or as straightforward as you'd hope. We planned to come back and try to embed ourselves in a bugle fest again the next morning. When we got there the next morning and let a few calls out, we had a few responses, but nothing like the night before. The elk were fired up, but the early September days were still hot, the moon was full, and my hopes of arrowing one in the first week were crushed. With a big moon lighting up the ground at night and the cooler conditions after the sunset, the elk seemed to be doing all their moving at night, which wasn't ideal. And then, the cherry on top of our struggles, I got COVID on September 8th, right as the action was ramping up. I was too sick to hunt the next 11 days. I was stuck in bed wondering where the big bulls would move and if I'd be able to find them again, or if I'd have to go find new elk somewhere else. But on September 19th, I was back at it, right where we left the elk the morning of September 7th.
It's been about a week and a half since I've been out. I came down with a dose of the COVID or something like that, and I'm just now good enough to hunt. Sucks, like prime elk season I get COVID, but we got elk over here. It's got elk over here.
It's gonna be a rough fest. There's 2 bulls down there. We're about to go kill a giant bull. We got our target bull right here. We were in the elk again, and more bulls started firing off all over the canyon as we pushed deeper into it. We got to 100 yards on a big bull that I thought could be our target bull from early September. I thought we were just a few short minutes away from the end of my hunt. But they all pushed down to the bottom of the canyon, away from us, and we chased them till dark, but with no luck at getting close enough. On September 20th, I went back out by myself, and I got back into more bugling bulls in the same area as the night before. Oh my god, there's a big one right in front of me. I made a play on some bulls and heard one bust no more than 30 to 50 yards away from me in the cedars I had dropped into, but never saw any of the elk in the dense trees. And all the while I could hear more elk over the next hill from me. So on my way out that night, I went towards where I had heard the other elk, and I found another giant bull, the big and broken bull. Even though I had just found the big and broken bull, and I had been in elk the past few days, it didn't feel like I was getting closer to arrowing one of these bulls. So I decided to take the last week and a half of September and check out new ground that might have more elk, and hopefully an even bigger intact bull so we could take inventory of more bulls as the rifle season was quickly approaching on October 1st.
Me and Josh are out here looking at elk. Game plan currently is I took a few days. I'm still kind of like sick from the COVID. So I took a few days off the elk hunting. Game plan is we're in the last week of archery. Rifle opens up this coming Sunday. It's Tuesday right now, so we're just glassing, trying to find more elk.
And we turned up a lot more elk.
Oh, there he is, running him back.
And as the month of September was coming to a close, and our pre-rifle season scouting was about to end, on the last day of September, as I was headed up the mountain to search for some more elk, something pretty spectacular happened.
So I came out this morning by myself, just scouting again. Tomorrow's the rifle opener. I found a big one last night down way far at the bottom. And driving in, I just found a smaller bull with like quite a few cows, and then there was a raghorn behind him that I didn't see until I was about to drive away. Literally like 10 yards off the road. Like, if you wanted that bull and it was a rifle, it would have been honestly almost cheating. It was that close. I got really good footage of them. So I'm gonna get to this spot, get the spotter set up. I got my phone scope today. And hopefully we relocate that really big one I found last night. I could never tell how big he was, how many points. He was too far away. Giant main beams. He didn't look like he was broken either. Oh my God! There's a giant, dude.
I had spooked this bull 70 yards off the road, and was shocked a bull of that caliber was just right there. So I quickly got some video, then got my bow in hand and dove off the side of the road in pursuit of this big bull. He had only traveled a maximum of 200 yards from where I first encountered him, and I knew if I gave this lone bull a few cow calls, he should come right back.
"38 yards. Right there. Could shoot him, but I'm not going to. 2. He's only a 5 on one side, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only a 5 on one side. That thing's a unit for a 5-point.
I just got 38 yards. I called that bull in with a cow call. I found that bull off the road, filmed him with my big camera, and then was like, well shit, I can do something about this. It's last day of bow season. Like, it could not have worked more perfectly. And that is a giant bull, but he's only a 5 on the one side. I don't think he has any cows or anything, which is so weird. It was so tempting to want to take a shot, but you know, he's only a 5-point. We can find a 6-point with that frame, if not bigger.
Even though this beautiful bull had presented me with a perfect opportunity, I'd elected to pass. I still had my mind on one of those big 6x6 bulls I had seen at the beginning of September, or the big and broken bull I had yet to find again since the night I had first seen him. Passing this 5x5 is something I regret a little bit when I look back at videos of him, especially with the challenges the rifle season would bring that I was yet to know about. But it's hard to be too regretful about it because the close encounter with him was plenty to be excited about. And my best friend and Dust Outdoors team member was able to harvest this bull 10 days after I passed him, when the bull crossed into a general season unit 15 to 20 miles away from where I had first seen him. I thought the bull might show himself again where I had first seen him, so when I woke up to text on October 18th with messages from Bryson that he had killed a bull, I got out of bed and raced over to see it when he got back to town, and was completely shocked to see it was the same 5x5 bull that I had had a chance to kill 15 to 20 miles away in a completely different unit. But now, with archery season over and our last day of scouting concluded, it was time to focus on rifle season.
Alright, well the lighting's terrible, but it's opening morning. I'm out here with Josh. You can barely see Josh. Came to a point where we found a bunch of elk. It was the one where we have the video of the elk going to the water and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a giant storm moving in. It's super windy. We'll see what happens. I don't think... So our first game plan didn't work out. Storm was rolling in. We're kind of just road hunting. We're hitting all the spots where I saw elk yesterday morning. We found a bunch of elk. down on some private land or really close to some private land, so we're gonna go see how far they are into private land, or if they are, and then. So we found the elk. It's the broken bull. They're kind of on like the edge of private, and kind of a weird spot right now. But I'm in a dilemma because the one's giant, but he's broken on his back left, and it just kind of sucks. But there's another decent bull in there, not anything as big as him.
This was the first time on this hunt where private land had really become a limiting factor. And this chunk of private land was standing between me and an awesome bull that I wanted to harvest on the opening morning of rifle season. And with no other roads to quickly get to the elk, we had to wait and watch and just hope they moved onto public land again. It was a frustrating situation. As we waited, another hunter who seemingly had permission on the private land drove the road we couldn't, spooking the elk and pushing them back onto public land and into the front of a steep, gnarly canyon. So we made a move to try and get a line of sight on the herd.
So we have a plan. We're gonna get above them, and we should be able to see if they go left or right. They moved off that private land. If we can get above them and they move towards us, like, we should be able to get a shot potentially if I want to take a shot. So we got to the point in Glass where those elk should have been coming up, and then there was this dude just walking up the canyon. It looks like he had permission on the private property that we didn't up down there, and he drove through it and he spooked all those elk up. I think that's why they got all spooky, because they were just chasing cows, doing their thing in the one little spot, kind of just doing circles, and then they all busted around the corner and went up the canyon, and then he's just walking up the canyon aimlessly like right now. I'm pretty sure I know exactly where those elk tucked up into.
All right, so we're out for the night. I just found our first elk across this canyon, just a group of raghorns. It looks like one small spike. And just glassing where we think that bull might have come from. That big bull came this morning, the big and broken bull. Yeah, just glassing. Found those little guys over there. Pretty windy. It calmed down a little bit right now, but I'm sure we're about to get hammered by some more swirling wind. It's a real pain in the ass, but keep glassing, update you guys. Hopefully turn that big bull up tonight and get a shot at him. It'd be pretty sweet. Got these elk spotted up behind us. Just bugled, saw some cows. They should be right down there. Gonna get above them, see if we have a play. Hopefully anchor ones. Above all the elk right now, they're screaming a little bit. I think it's still a little bit early. We've got this little raghorn with one cow right below us. I've got him on camera right now. But yeah, we're in the elk. It's just whether one comes in to rain. Left, front, right. They are just everywhere. I just got video of a bull breaking a tree down there. Chuckling, bugling, just bulls absolutely everywhere. Man, this is insane. I don't know if we'll get a shot tonight, but from where we're at, we have a decent chance. I mean, there's a one we could already shot, just a tiny one that we have footage of, but hopefully a big one just comes charging in. We knew the big and broken bull was in the cedar trees somewhere. It was just a matter of waiting for him to hopefully appear through the trees within shooting range. The elk had spread out all throughout the trees, and there were bulls screaming in every direction. This made it difficult to spot the bulls with the thick cover they could easily move in without being detected. We had spotted the other big bull from that morning and a few cows that a raghorn had momentarily rounded up, and I had the second big bull coming in on a string as I continuously let out some cow calls to lure him and hopefully the other bulls into us.
There's a big dead dog. That's our boy.
We had another bull bugling and slowly moving in on us from the left, but weren't able to see him, but judging by the sound of his bugle, we thought it could be the big and broken bull.
Yeah, here he comes.
The evening light was starting to fade rapidly, and the second big bull had found the raghorn with the few cows he had gathered, stole the cows, and moved away from us. As the sun went down and we were in the final minutes of shooting light, we backed out since we didn't have a view of the bull coming in on our left. Concluding a pretty awesome opening night of hunting, even without putting a bull on the ground, being surrounded by bugling elk in every direction in October was a pretty awesome way to kick off the rifle hunt.
So I'm on a late solo mission today. I woke up at like 6 and decided I was gonna go try and notch the tag this morning. I'm half expecting to find a bunch of elk on the road this morning, because after we left them last night, we found a bunch of elk when we left, but who knows where they are now. Yeah, we're gonna see how this morning goes.
Okay, there's elk right here, so I better get out and check what it is. There's a cow. Wonder if there's more. Keep the video rolling. I only saw one cow, which is bizarre. There's got to be more through here. Either that or they're up and over the hill already, so. It's just really weird. I'm just jumping up cows by the 1 and 2. Like, I wonder if they're bedded in here. But they're all kind of pushing towards up and over this hill, so I think it'd probably be smart to go glass below this hill on the other side right now. I've got elk out right now. I haven't seen a bull yet, but I'm prepping. Elk are headed into the cedar, so I'm trying to weigh my options. All right, we're gonna make our move. Gun, camera, and pack. See if we can make something happen. They're hanging on the edge of those cedars down there, so it's gonna be interesting. We'll see what happens. There's some cows up right in front of me, so the elk are still in here. We're just gonna have to wait for, a big bull to step out to shoot, but could come together here. I think we got the bull I'm gonna shoot. He's at like 450, 500-ish. He just tucked into some trees. He just looks super tall and big. I don't think I've seen this bull yet, but he looks big. He just screamed. You could probably hear it on the camera. I was filming some rackhorns up there. They're in the same group, but this guy ducked in some trees. I might try to close a little bit more distance. Maybe try to even it out at 400. They're just moving in and out of this shit. It's impossible to keep track of them. I almost think it'd be a good idea to work back a little bit. Cross this bottom right in front of me. Cross this bottom, get to these other rocks, and get somewhere like over on one of these rock points looking straight across from them. That would put me at like 300-400 yards, I bet. Then you're looking up into them, straight at them, so you don't have all this side stuff covering up where they are. You'd be able to kind of see them a little better, I think. But I'm gonna keep glassing. Hopefully one of the big bull steps out and the bottom again soon. The other thing is I really don't want to shoot them up in one of these gaps in the cedar trees where I don't have a really good clearing to see. I got the big bull glassed up. He's at like 480 right now. He's dead asleep. Antlers up in the air, head down. All the cows are up around him though, and they seem to kind of be aware of me. I think they kind of saw me sneak to the bottom, so kind of laying low in a bush right now, hoping they kind of go back to what they're doing and stop paying attention to me. We are closing the distance. I think we successfully closed or got to this point without them knowing. I'm on top of the point. I'm working towards, I guess I'm on top of the finger, working towards the point of it. And if I can get there without them seeing me and freaking out, I should be within really good shooting range, like 300 yards hopefully. I think that's exactly. I've got him in my sights. Just short of 300, like 290. Just his head. I couldn't shoot him right now. Unless you're in the headshots. I think I'm gonna pass though. Really good looking bull, good mass, good main beam length. But I just know that broken 6-point is bigger. This guy's back end's kind of lack. His fronts are good, but his back end's just kind of short. It's just hard. It's like you worked this hard. That's a really nice bull. Kind of getting tired of passing bulls, but just don't think this guy's the one to pass. He's moving his head up there. He's a big bull though. If his royal tines or just doesn't have much going on his back end. They're just kind of ordinary. Nothing crazy about them.
Yo, what's up guys? We're out again this morning. We're waiting on this main road, waiting for shooting light because I've been seeing a lot of elk in this bottom, so headed back up where I passed a couple bulls and seen the big and broken fella. So we're see how it pans out. Keep you guys updated. All right, we're out here tonight. Me and Bryson didn't see anything this morning. Braxton came out with us. We just found elk. I found a bunch of brown spots just kind of like moving through the sun, and then they ducked into cedars and now you can barely see them, but I got video of the cow that we just spotted. Hopefully a big bull steps out. Kind of had a feeling they were over in here still, but we looked this morning hard over in this area. And
that truck is literally within 20 yards of them.
Are you joking?
He is right fucking below them. He's in my spotter right now.
Oh my god. Oh no.
He's driving right. He doesn't see him. He's looking the whole opposite way.
Oh my god. We switched over to some new country and we got some bulls bugling down there, and then Bryson over there found an elk and then lost it. So we're back in them. Just gotta find out where these ones below us are, see if we can tell how big they are. Oh my god. Found a super big bull, hauling ass to get down there, try and go kill him. He's right off the road. If we can get to him before somebody else does, or before he pushes super far, it should be a pretty easy shot, so hopefully it pans out. When we got to the bottom where we had spotted the big bull we were after, we had no line of sight on the elk, and we didn't have a quick route to the elk because of the private land blocking our quickest path. So with the last 30-ish minutes of light we were forced to watch the small bulls with a few cows already on the private land and see if the big bull we had spotted earlier would join the others in the field. And as we were watching the small bulls have a small rut fest, to our surprise, another herd, with another big bull, began moving towards the field from over the hill behind the private land. And as the last little bit of light faded and we watched the new big bull and his cows cross onto the private land, we began to formulate our plan for the next day. Braxton, my dad, and I were going to go out in the morning and hopefully glass up one of the herds with a big bull we had found that night, and wait for them to hopefully cross back into public and make a move to try and put one of these nice bulls down. Back out and hunting this morning. Long story short is we found some giants last night when Bryson and Braxton were with me. And so Braxton's back out with us this morning. He's down in the bottom and he's gonna glass that stuff in the bottom and see if there's anything down there. And we're at the top where we glassed up those big bulls last night, and we're gonna see if we can find them from up here. And yeah, so that's the long story short. Some really big bulls. Shooting light is just now shooting light. Still hard to see, so wait for that sun to come up a little bit and glass a little better and see if they move this morning. So these elk are back down in private where they were last night. Pretty much impossible to kill them unless they step off a decent little way, but can't do nothing about it but just watch them and hope they move off it. I can't tell if it's big bulls or not yet. It's still too dark. I just see a bunch of elk bodies standing in that field. There's some in the back right corner and some in the middle of it, so hopefully they decide to get all pissed off and charge out of there and either up these canyons or something, just someplace we can make a shot, because it's frustrating to just keep watching big bulls on this tiny piece of private that you can't touch. But just gotta wait it out. There's a lot of elk down there. Keep finding new ones. Pretty much all the same ones from last night, it seems like. It seems like they're moving up and across the road into public. So hopefully we'll be able to get a shot here in a little bit. But again, just watching them, playing it by ear, seeing what happens. So we caught the one big bull that tucked up into the cedars, moving up. We're gonna try and make a play on him. He's big, giant fronts, good back ends, not great thirds, but none of these bulls really have great thirds, it seems. But he's a big old bull, wide. I think he's wider than that one down in the middle of that field. So yeah, gonna see if we can make it happen, hopefully. I've got bulls down to my right and in front of me, and I can see a big bull coming up on a hill off that private land. I think it's that really big one. Big and narrow one. I think I have a bull coming into me now. Though I'm just cow calling and they're responding, so. Josh is behind me somewhere. So I'm back out tonight. I didn't really update this morning, but those elk wrapped kind of around behind us and then spooked a little bit. And then I think Braxton said they were over still in the same area. So we're gonna get up on top of this hill tonight where we were on this morning, just a little bit higher up, and see if I can catch them moving down tonight. I'm hoping they move back down towards that private, and we can catch them and shoot one. I just had a bull chuckle kind of up into my left, kind of where Braxton said the bulls probably went, where those elk were, and where there's some other bulls this morning. He wasn't that far away because it was a really low chuckle. Didn't have much energy behind it. I could still hear it. I just had a bull bugle out right in front of me after I cow called 3 times. So there's still elk in here. The question is it the big wide one we want to shoot? Well, I just had that big bull I want to shoot. Somewhere around like 550 probably. But he was moving a bunch. Just didn't get the shot. Needed him to close about 100 yards. I would have been pretty confident. They stepped out further than I was expecting tonight. A little bit further out. And then they just went right into that private. And these cedars are really hard to hunt them in. They just disappear, and you gotta wait for them to move, and they didn't move till after the sun went down at night again, just like they did last night pretty much. But where I posted up on top of the hill to get the best view, it's cliffed out underneath me, which is probably poor planning on my part. If it wasn't cliffed out, I probably could have closed 300 yards, or at least 200. Tag's not notch. I've got to hunt. Just gotta hunt harder and hunt more until we get one of these big bulls down here. Gonna hike back to the truck and eat a bunch of junk food because I'm starving. So that's the update.
I've got elk in the field over here. Oh, also, I don't think I entered the video this morning, but it's Monday morning. I came out, got above where they've been crossing. They're all the way on the other side of the field right now. It's either the 7x6 or the wide bull, because it looks like a whole herd. Unless a new bull moved in. I don't know if they're going to cross over here this morning, if they're going to go to that other side. If they go to the other side, I'm kind of screwed, because I'm kind of dedicated. Walked in a little bit into here, so I'd have to run back to the truck and try to figure a way to get above them. It's over there screaming, chasing cows, it looks like. Yeah, I think they're hitting the other side. I can see them. They don't seem to be crossing. So I'm going to put that on the phone. Keep figuring out what these elk are doing. Keep you guys updated.
So those elk stayed on private. I think somebody was running a tractor on, or I think they were running a tractor on that private land down there, and they didn't want to cross to my side this morning. That's what it sounded like to me. There's some loud noises down there, kind of sounded like a tractor, and those elk were kind of spooky, stayed on the other side. They shut up as soon as they completely stopped talking. They were bugling a little bit, but they completely stopped bugling and talking when that sun hit that field, so I'm guessing they just bedded down somewhere on the other side. Unknowingly at the time, when I went home that morning, it would mark a complete shift in the hunt. After that day, things took a turn for the worst. After being very close to lots of big bulls for a little over a month, they would almost all disappear, giving us no clues as to where they might have gone. And finding the elk, which hadn't been a problem during the whole hunt, became harder and harder as the rut was coming to an end in mid-October. Day after day, I covered more ground looking everywhere that was once packed with elk, and even looking over new ground we hadn't covered yet. Until October 14th, when I had almost lost all hope, and was beginning to think passing those bulls earlier in the hunt might have been a huge mistake that would lead to me not notching my tag at all, and had me searching anywhere and everywhere for elk, finally led me to a mega herd that might have a bull worth shooting. Haven't seen elk in a while, and then I'm driving all this stuff that we have seen elk in a late archery season, and I glance at the farthest hill I can see effectively, and probably one of the biggest herds of elk I've ever seen. I mean, probably 100 yards up and down, and just a line moving to the right. I can't tell how many there is, but it's stupid. I spotted my first elk, watched it go away in the trees, and I was like, well shit, hopefully I can get on him again. And assuming it was probably a herd of 10 or 15, max of 20 like I've been seeing out here, and it's 100 plus easy. It was wild. I do it. The sun's not set yet. I might have time to make this happen. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be real hard, but we might be able to make it happen. So we have time. We have about 42, 40.
1 minute's time. So there's a chance, but I'm not gonna do something stupid.
And when I made it to where I wanted to cut the elk off, it worked. I ended up with 100+ elk right in front of me, including a freak and another decent bull. Unfortunately, there wasn't a bull that in my mind at the time was worth taking. So I just watched and gathered some great footage. I have all these elk down in front of me at like 600 yards. Not gonna get a shot tonight, I don't think. Only got about we got sub 10 minutes left to light, I think. But there's a big freak in there, just not big enough to shoot. And then I can't really tell what the other bulls are. There's one in there that looked okay, but nothing like crazy. So I'm gonna keep looking, but not gonna get a shot tonight, I don't think. And I don't think there's really a bull in there to shoot. I think it's just a bunch of elk, a couple decent bulls, but that's it. I'm gonna keep looking, but that's what's going on right now.
Okay, lighting's not great, but I'm gonna give you an update on tonight. We found that freak. That freak's not that big. He's a cool bull, but I don't know. I've just seen bigger bulls. I'd rather shoot a very clean, giant 6-point than that freak. We'll leave that freak for somebody either this year who does want him or somebody who, in the future when that freak gets a lot bigger. But yeah, I didn't see a giant in that herd. There's like 100 elk in there, minimum 150 elk in there. And I didn't get a count. They were moving so much. There were so many you couldn't see barely in the sage that were dark and blended in. It was the final 30 minutes of light pretty much. It was getting harder and harder. And I saw one decent bull, and that was about it.
The next day, I decided to switch things up. Me and my dad were going to go to an area that we hadn't been since September.
Alright, we got elk right up in front of us. We're gonna go up and over this hill and see if we can't see a big bull and shoot one. Got the big camera, we'll keep you guys updated.
The elk we had run into that morning was just a small bull and a few cows. So we went out and we drove around trying to find some more elk in other spots during the day and decided to come back that night to see if we had any elk that we had missed that morning. We were able to locate a few elk that we hadn't seen in the morning, but no big ones, just a few raghorns, spikes, and some cows. And as the sun set on October 15th, the hunt continued. The next day on October 16th, I headed back to areas we had hunted elk in September and early October, in hopes that I could maybe turn up one of the big bulls we were chasing in that time period, but was only met by a small raghorn and a few cows. After October 16th, I would take 2 days off and decide to hit some new ground that I hadn't been to yet. The only problem was, this area was hard to access without a side-by-side, four-wheeler, or dirt bike, and so I had to hike up to the end of it and see if I could see any elk in there, and then figure out a way to go chase those elk if I turned any up. Alright, it's Thursday, October something late October. We're hiking in way up high on this mountain that you can't get to without a side-by-side or like an e-bike. I don't really have access to one of those at the moment, so we're gonna hike up it, see how far we can get up, see what we can see tonight. So I gotta make up some ground real quick because it's almost 4, or actually I think it is past 4, so we're gonna make some ground up quick, but that's the plan. I'll see you guys at the top, or if we find something on the way up and we get a shot. So yeah, looking for a giant, but I'm getting less picky by the day. It's been really tough to find elk, but it seems like they're all packing up above the river on these mountains and big desert draws. So we're gonna see what we can do about it tonight. I'll catch you guys at the top. There's cow elk calling right in front of me somewhere. I don't know where, but I can hear them. Right in front of me. So I'm gonna sit down
and see if I can spot him, I guess. See what happens. Oh, this is crazy. It's like, it's 4 something. I didn't think they'd be moving. I didn't think there'd really be elk right where I'm hiking up. I gotta see if I can find these things. Found him. Looks like a decent bull, I can't tell. I'm gonna set up just in case, 500 yards-ish. 470 to 500. The one bull I can see in there is definitely not a shooter. He's a little bit broken, but just not big. But I don't know if there's another bull in there because there's this bike and then him. I just can't tell what else. Because they're kind of feeding up, so I don't know if there's more in the cedars I can't see that are moving up. So I'm gonna watch them for a second and see what else comes out. And then I don't think I'm gonna go to the top tonight. I think I'm just gonna sit in here and glass this stuff because with elk this low and this stuff, I don't think there's a need to go to the top. So, yeah. Good to be an elk already though. What is he? Is 2, 4, 6, barely a 6. The elk moved and we're gonna keep pushing. So gonna keep going up the hill. I'll let you guys know when we get up there. Hopefully get up there's more elk. Hopefully. 2 small bulls in that one. One was a lot bigger than the other, but still just not shooters. Just not big mature bulls like we were seeing. So still searching for a giant. We'll see what happens tonight. Found more elk, but they're super far away. No way to get to them tonight. I don't see a bull yet, but it took quite a few elk. Just as many as the ones I saw up on this hill, if not more. So it looks like kind of in that 15 to 20 space somewhere in there. And there's a bunch behind trees and ditches I can't see. So hopefully a big bull steps out now. But I'm just gonna keep watching these elk, look for more up in the stuff that they're kind of in, and see what else we find tonight. Well, I think we found a pretty big one. Yeah, he's big. His thirds are pretty solid too. It's a big bull. Yep. It's hard because he's so far away, but he looks really giant. He looks big though, he's way out there. It's the group I was talking about where I said it would be better to come in from the other side above. So I guess now we gotta try to do it in the morning because he's big, he's real big. Which means I gotta get here real early, hike up that gnarly ass 2-track you can't get up with the truck. He disappears into the cedars. He looks kind of narrow, but that's about it. Big and narrow. That's what he looks like. So definitely got to try to probably kill that bull in the morning. I haven't seen anything else up here, and that's the biggest bull I've seen in about a week and a half since I lost all those big bulls I was chasing up on that other mountain. So we got to figure out how to get that guy. I wish he would have been like 4 hills closer and I could have shot him tonight. But that's how hunting goes. Alright, well we're headed out. I watched that bull for a little bit more. Got some video of him raking on that hill in a bush. Now I just gotta decide how I'm gonna get in there in the morning and where they're gonna go. I can't decide if it'd be smarter to work up, because I can work up the canyon they're in from the bottom
it's just so tough to predict what those elk are gonna do. Deer, it'd be like they're gonna be like in a 3 mile, or not a 3 mile, but like a mile radius of where I last saw him. Bryson came out with me this morning, brought his side-by-side, so we're gonna rip up to the top where I found that bull last night, try to get on him and get it done. I'm ready to notch the tag, have a giant bull in my hand, so we'll see what we can do today, and hopefully that bull's right where he was last night. He didn't seem like he wanted to move too much, he just kind of fed in that area, but elk work in weird ways. I'm sure he moved about 50 miles last night just for fun, so we'll see what happened. After finding those elk the night before, I was almost positive we'd show up the next morning and they'd be just on that hill as we glassed them up. But we found nothing. We drove the rest of the mountain that morning and didn't find a single elk. It was discouraging. I thought I had come up with a perfect game plan and that was going to be the end of the hunt. But it lived on. The next day on October 20th, I went back to a spot we had consistently seen elk before, in September especially, and decided to give it another shot, see if we could find another big group. And I did. I found a bunch of elk, but they're all like decent, not good. But I'm still looking over quite a few, and we're gonna see if we can find a big bull all right below me. I can kill him easy if I want. The giant group of elk ended up spooking and running across the valley. And with no bulls that looked super enticing to me in that group, it led to another day of hunting. Each day the hunt went on, I felt more and more like I was gonna have to eat this tag. Yep, we're back at it, trying. Gonna cover a lot of ground in Bryson. Bryson side by side, and his brother's out here too, so they're gonna cover some ground. My dad's out. We've literally deployed the army, pretty much. My dad's out looking at some stuff where he's seen some elk. I mean, it's coming down to crunch time. Gotta try to put something together here. So back where I saw that big bull the other day, the giant swords. We'll see if we can find him again or another big bull. But it's just a little past shooting light, just starting to be able to see. Where at? Down there on that hillside. Bryson's got elk. Bunch of them. He looks big. He's really wide. That's what I'm thinking. He looks weird on that left side, doesn't he? Yeah. He looks really wide though. After the sun came up more, we took a better look at the elk that Bryson had spotted right at first light. And it was nothing, just a smaller bull. So we started to move on and we went up to meet with Braxton. Really? That's it?
1, 2, 3, 4. He's a 6 on that. Like this side's beautiful, and then fucking this side.
Where was he? It's right in these cedars.
Like 200 yards in front of us. He was not spooked. He just walked. Him and this other bull. He's really right down there. See, that side's only a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that side.
That's depressing.
It's a big bull. He's still a really nice bull. He's like, he's with a stud rag. I want to shoot him.
After meeting up with Braxton and him showing us the broken bull he had seen that morning, we elected to go up a little higher and search some of the bigger canyons at the top. We found another group of elk, but with just a smaller bull in there, we decided to pack it up and leave. The next day, I was back after it. I went to the spot where I had spooked the big group of elk a couple days prior. Now that I knew there was elk back in that area, I was confident I might get a chance to intercept a few as they walked through, and hopefully there would be a big bull in the group. Alright, I'm out here again looking for elk on my elk hunt. It's Monday night, Monday like October 23rd. Still grinding somehow. I don't know how I keep getting the motivation to come out, but I had a good feeling about tonight. I've got some elk spotted up that just started walking out. Pretty far away, easy to get to though. If there ends up being one that I want to shoot, it's 5. So we get 3 cows so far. But it seems like they're just now moving out through there. My dad had a herd up in there on Sunday morning. He said it had a raghorn and a bigger bull in it. He said it was a very small group. The bigger bull, you couldn't tell how big it was from his video because it was through his binos, not a spotter, and it was really shaky. But the big bull looked like he had potential, but I guess we're gonna find out. Maybe it's the same herd, maybe it's not. We just found a shooter bull, and we can go kill him. So we're gonna go do it. We're gonna go kill this bull. I don't know how much I can film, how great it's gonna be, because I am by myself, but we're gonna get it done. Looks big. Honestly, almost looks a lot like that one with giant swords I found on that other mountain, but that thing's big. He's a nice bull. We really need to kill him, so that's what we're gonna do. Whew. Nerves are going a little bit. It's been a while since I've had a chance to actually pursue one of these, but we gotta haul because where they're coming down, the faster I move, the better to get in a position. To put a long story short, this night I ended up taking a right when I should have took a left. The nerves had got the better of me. Even though there was a good bull worth chasing, I messed up, took a wrong turn, and those elk lived to see another day. And I lived to see another day of hunting. So the next day on October 24th, I headed back up to that same spot to see if I could relocate the bull I took a wrong turn on. And I found more elk that morning. But with the elk making it to the cedar trees before the light fully came up and I could tell if there was a bull in there, I decided to head back home and return that evening. That evening I spotted another group of elk. Assuming it was the same group of elk, there was a bull in there that I hadn't seen in the morning, and I decided I was going to have to make a move quick to get to the top of the mountain and try to make a move on these elk. I've got an elk at 370, roughly right here. I'm killing him. I was on my way up to kill another bull. He's right here at 370. We're gonna get it done. He's right there. Okay. Here we go. We did it. He's right back up here. You see his antler. I don't know how big he is. He looks nice. I saw a big one in the shot. There's not enough time in this tag to not take an opportunity like that right off the road.
2023 limited entry bull down. Watched a lot of big bulls on this hunt, and I'm very thankful for just the opportunity to be able to come out and hunt. The opportunity to have pulled a tag. I've always wanted to pull an elk tag ever since I've killed my first spike. And even on a really good tag, I mean, it was not an easy task. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be able to hunt this and harvest a bull out here, and have elk meat for this next year, and be able to put these antlers on my wall. It's an awesome opportunity. I hunted my ass off. I hunted so hard. I mean, by myself a lot of days, and then in these last few days, I think I probably included this part. I mean, I just can't thank Braxton and Bryson Yeager and then my dad enough. They helped me a lot. My dad in archery was out here with me a lot, and then Braxton and Bryson came out the last few days of this hunt on the weekends with me. You know what? I really think we gave it our all. I probably hunted, I hunted easily probably 20 plus days, potentially more. I wouldn't doubt if it was more. And I just feel very thankful to finally be able to kill a bull. I mean, right off the road, 365 yards off the road. Really, my dad and Bryson are on their way out right now, and I'm incredibly thankful for this bull's life, and very happy that he was out in the open, off the road, and presented an opportunity for me to take my first solo bull and my first solo animal ever, and notch this tag. And